Welcome, everyone. Bienvenue tout le monde. My name is Steve Chapman, and I'm the president of the Ottawa Branch of the National Association of Federal Retirees. And I'm very happy to chair our 2026 annual general meeting. Je m'appelle Steve Chapman et je suis président de la section d'Ottawa de l'Association nationale des retraités fédéraux. Et je suis très heureux de présider notre Assemblée générale annuelle de 2026. We're proud to be able to offer you translated captions today, and I want to take a moment to explain how it will work. Pour activer les sous-titres, emmenez votre curseur de souris n'importe où sur la fenêtre de Zoom et une barre d'outils apparaîtra en bas de l'écran. Cliquez ensuite sur l'icône intitulée Sous-titres. Pour les sous-titres en français, cliquez sur la flèche à côté de l'icône et cliquez sur l'option Traduction. To enable closed captions, move your mouse anywhere on the screen to make the Zoom toolbar appear and click on the Closed Captions icon at the bottom of your screen. For translated captions in French, click on the arrow next to the Closed Captions icon and click on the Translation option as seen on the slide on the screen. Now I'd like to formally begin our event by recognizing the First Nations on whose traditional land our association offices are located. Here in Ottawa, this is the unceded traditional territory of the Anishinaabe Algonquin Nation and has always held great historic, social, and spiritual significance for the Anishinaabe Algonquin people. Their culture and presence have nurtured and continue to nurture this land. I'm happy to share that over 130 people registered to attend today's AGM, including all of our serving board directors. Now, before we go further, please join me in a moment of silence dedicated to all the members who are no longer with us. Thank you. Now I'd like to outline how we will deal with the regular business of the AGM. We will have a question and answer period after each item of business. We'll also have a general question and answer at the end of the meeting. You can type your questions into the Q&A box on Zoom while we're discussing each item. Before we call for a vote on the item, we'll go to the Q&A box and read your questions out loud, and we'll do our best to answer them. You'll be able to see the questions in the Q&A box, and if some of them are especially important to you, you can click on the thumbs up icon to vote for it. If we run short of time, we'll focus on the questions with the most thumbs up. Now I'm going to ask Antoine Baillargeon, our program coordinator, to show you how this works.
Thank you, Steve. Good morning, everyone. What you will see on your screen most of the time is the presenters and the PowerPoint slides. As Steve mentioned, to submit a question, you will need to use the Q&A feature. It should appear on the black Zoom toolbar at the bottom of your screen. If you do not see the Q&A feature on the black bar at the bottom of your screen right now, just move your mouse around the screen or click your mouse at the bottom of your screen. This should make the black Zoom toolbar appear. If you do not see the Q&A option on the toolbar, please click on the button labeled More, and then you should be able to see the Q&A option. On this slide, we are showing the black Zoom toolbar, and we have marked the Q&A feature with a red arrow. The letters Q&A will appear beneath two small balloons, as shown in the red circle on the slide. When you click on the Q&A feature, a white box will open as shown on this slide. Type your questions directly into the Q&A box and hit the Enter key. You will see your question and all the other questions that have been submitted in a list. Remember that you can give thumbs up to questions that are important to you. And as Steve indicated, if we run short on time, we'll focus on the questions with the most thumbs up. We'll check for questions before voting on every motion, and there will be a general Q&A period towards the end of the AGM. That's all for me. Thank you. Back to you, Steve.
Merci, Antoine. Today, Ottawa Branch members will be asked to vote on 5 motions. A white box will appear automatically on your screen, asking you to vote yes or no on each one. If you're not an Ottawa Branch member, please remember that you cannot vote. We're going to try and practice this right now to make sure that everyone is comfortable. So here is the voting box. Right, so please vote yes or no to the question, do you like pets? The results of the vote will show automatically on your screen. All right, so we obviously have a lot of pet lovers out there. Now, I'll pass the parole to Hélène Bouteau, Board Director and our official secretary.
Merci, Steve. Bonjour tout le monde. As Steve said, everyone who registered to attend the AGM received a link to the meeting documents via email. Throughout the meeting, we will show these documents on your screen. Right now, the agenda is on your screen. We need to vote to approve the agenda, but before we do, are there any questions about the agenda? So we'll check the box. I don't see any questions. So now I'm going to ask you to vote to approve the agenda. Lillian Thompson is making this motion, and it is seconded by David Bolger. You will see the voting box on your screen. Please remember that only Ottawa Branch members are entitled to vote. Please submit your vote. Okay, our motion has been approved by 100%. We'll proceed with our next part of the agenda, or sorry, the next slide. In 2023, we started a new process for the AGM minutes. You agreed to have a committee of branch volunteers review and approve the AGM minutes on your behalf. The volunteers on your screen have done an excellent job reviewing and approving the 2025 AGM minutes, and our sincere thanks go to Randy Baker and Doreen Sarrazin for this work last year. The 2025 AGM minutes that they approved are on our website and were included with the document link that you received by the email. So now we need to receive the 2025 minutes and put the 2026 AGM Minutes Approval Committee in place. Randy has agreed to once again take part in the committee, and he will be joined by Lorraine Flannery and Diane Larocque, 2 new member volunteers in this role. But before I call a vote to approve the 2026 AGM Minutes Committee, are there any questions? Oops, see if there's a question. I think there is one. Somebody is saying they can't see anything. The screen is black. Okay. So I am making the motion. Thank you. I'm making the motion, and Chris Nanda has seconded the motion. Please remember that only Ottawa Branch members are entitled to vote, and we have the voting box on the screen. Please submit your vote. Thank you. The 2026 committee is approved, and we thank Randy, Lorraine, and Diane in advance for their great work. I'd like to thank our minute takers. So before we go any further, we want to say a huge thank you to Anna Blauvelt, who took the excellent minutes for the 2025 AGM. Anna is Canada's former ambassador to Iceland, and she is also a published author. This year, John Leaf is back as our minute taker. This is not his first time doing this. For past AGMs, John brought his years of experience as legal counsel at the Department of Justice to the job, and we are very grateful for this expertise. We thank you both sincerely for your important contribution to our work. Please note that we tape our AGMs too, and we will post a video recording of this AGM and a copy of the slide deck on our website. Back to you, Steve.
Thank you, Helene. I always enjoy the chance to talk about the great things that Ottawa Branch is doing. In fact, just last month, I had the opportunity to exchange ideas at the Vancouver Branch AGM. In September, I was invited to attend the Ottawa District meetings in Toronto, and recently our Vice President David Bolger attended the 2026 Spring Ontario District meetings in Toronto. These are always excellent opportunities to share the successes of the Ottawa Branch with our colleagues. I really appreciate these invitations because it gives me a chance to explain what Ottawa Branch is doing and to help other branches as well. For example, we've built a huge library of video recordings from past webinars, and these are available to all branches across Canada on our website. Some of them are even bilingual. And quite often, the preferred partnership agreements that we enter into and develop can also be used by other branches. But you'll hear more about that during my official report. Now I'm proud to present the branch report for 2025, and some of our directors will be joining me in this. A hard copy of the report was mailed to all of our members with the most recent copy of Sage magazine in early March. We also posted the report on our website with the other AGM documents. We hope that you're impressed with all of the hard work that has gone on in the branch this year. These achievements would not have been made possible without our dedicated board of directors and our great team of volunteers, and as well our small but mighty office team. I'd like to introduce them to you with the next slide. We're very pleased to have Rebecca Lee, who joined us as the new executive manager since November, taking over from Linda Barber, who has taken her well-deserved retirement after managing the branch for 8 great years. Rebecca, would you like to say a few words?
Thank you, Steve, and good morning, everyone. NAFR does amazing work for federal retirees across the country, and it did not take me very long to understand the extent and impact of that work. Ottawa Branch is a fine example of how to offer a broad range of services to a large number of members with a very high rate of satisfaction. I have been very well supported by the board and the branch staff in the process of onboarding, and I look forward to meeting more of our members in person. Back to you, Steve.
Rebecca comes with many years of professional management experience in the not-for-profit sector and has already brought new ideas and energy to the role. I'd like to express my deep appreciation to our stalwart team of members, Antoine Baillargeon, Marcia Bisson, Ivan Urechikul, Stephanie Aka, and Marianne Tink. We're very grateful for the additional funding that the association has granted us over the past 3 years. And this has enabled us to expand our member services significantly. And you'll see the impact of that throughout the rest of the AGM. Now let's get down to business. First, let's talk about our advocacy work. And for that, I would like to invite Blair to give us the overview of activities on that file. Director Blair Armitage started the year as our advocacy program officer, putting his 35 years or so of experience on Parliament Hill, mostly with the Senate, to the benefit of our branch. Umit Kitsultan took over the position of APO later in the year.
Well, thank you, Stephen. And as far as advocacy goes, thank you for your leadership. You were a very engaged president in the last year. You led all of our conversations with the federal and provincial candidates. We were able to share their answers to our questions on the association's behalf and make them available to the membership before each election was held. We're very proud of that. And with the help of our office staff, led by Linda Barber at the time, and Antoine and others, they coordinated a lot of virtual meetings. We're very grateful to them for all their hard work. And in particular to Umit, who was a very enthusiastic and creative advocacy proponent. Unfortunately, his personal circumstances don't allow him to continue, but he will continue to provide input and support where needed. He just couldn't continue with the APO role, but we really appreciated his enthusiasm and energy. For the coming year, we're planning on continuing our meetings with federal MPs. We've already met with the MP Idlout from Nunavut and with Mr. Tanjoy from Carleton, and we're lining up other MPs as we speak. And we're working on a strategic plan for the Ottawa branch, but we're looking for input from the National Advocacy Committee, which is still looking at the advocacy projects on a national basis. But we're looking forward to working with them and continuing the work of bringing the 5 pillars of advocacy to the government.
Thanks, Blair. Ottawa Branch also strives to build strong cooperative relationships with other seniors organizations in our community. Board Director Sheila Tuddenham has taken the lead on this work for many years and continues to represent us in key areas through the Branch Community Liaison Committee. And we're very proud of our strong relationship with the Council on Aging. As you saw, we worked with them through the federal election, and we make sure to stay plugged in with the Health Issues Committee under the Council of Aging as well. Director Sheila Tuddenham and her team of volunteers also deliver the Neighbors Helping Neighbors initiative, the Ottawa Branch signature program to promote and teach caregiver respite that was originally developed by the Victorian Order of Nurses. Directrice Hélène Bouteau maintient le lien avec les organismes francophones d'Ottawa et environ, répertoriés sur le site web de la section d'Ottawa. Cette page permet à nos membres d'accroître sur accès de programmation, aux activités et aux services en français. Dès mars 2026, la section d'Ottawa offre aussi à ses membres des sessions de conversation en français en personne à notre bureau. Nous avons déjà eu 4 réunions. 2025 was yet another terrific year for Ottawa Branch webinars. We offered 44 webinars in total to our members and their guests, and we had over 5,400 members and guests join us for these informational sessions. Continuing on the theme of finding meaningful work in retirement after our in-person Thrive in Retirement event in 2024, we worked with Elections Canada to host a national webinar for members across the country to highlight several work opportunities leading up to the federal election. We also partnered with one of our Thrive in Retirement speakers, Tamara Gutman, for 2 webinars, further delving into the topic of finding casual and contract work in retirement. We also continued to offer monthly online fitness classes with AIM Fitness, as well as a variety of our ever-popular financial literacy webinars with RBC Dominion Securities. When we have the permission of our webinar presenters, we record their presentations and we post the video recordings and their slides on our website so that you can watch these webinars at your convenience. Just go to our website and search for event recordings. We also work with several other branches, like the Nova Scotia Central Branch and the Toronto Branch, to share these recordings to members all across the country. We encourage you to share these among your circles and spread the word of the great work that the branch is doing. But there's more than just webinars to highlight. We know that in-person events are important for you too. In 2025, Ottawa Branch members were invited to 7 in-person events, including My Transition Expo, Abbotsford House Seniors Fair, River Ward Older Adult Summit, and the Adaptive Living Expo. Our board directors, Chris Nanda, worked with National Preferred Partner Colette to offer a session on travel and top destinations for the latter part of 2025. We also hosted 4 digital literacy workshops in 2025 in partnership with Connected Canadians. More on that a bit later. Michelle Boudreau, assistant manager and head trainer at AIM Fitness, got us moving and energized with an outdoor workout in Sandy Hill Park. We also partnered with AIM Fitness to host the Golden Wellness Day in October, which was a great success. The Golden Wellness Day brought together a fantastic group of partners offering engaging experiences such as blood pressure checks, balance and fall prevention activities, consultations, samples, and various resources to support aging in place. Attendees also enjoyed unique opportunities like fitness demonstrations with AIM Fitness and guided tours of retirement communities hosted by Chartwell Retirement Homes, all with the added convenience of free parking. A special thank you to our sponsors, including Chartwell Retirement Residences as our hospitality sponsor, and Hearing Life Canada as our national preferred partner, as well as our dedicated exhibitors for delivering such informative and interactive experiences. Finally, thank you to all of you who attended and helped make the day so vibrant, engaging, and successful. We truly appreciate your participation and support. In partnership with Connected Canadians, Ottawa Branch members attended 4 terrific in-person workshops focused on protecting yourself from phishing scams and learning about internet safety, as well as a popular topic on ChatGPT and navigating the new world of AI tools. After the main presentations, attendees were able to interact one-on-one with volunteer mentors from Connected Canadians to help them with any questions or issues they have with their electronic devices. NAFR Ottawa Branch is grateful to ESDC for funding through the New Horizons for Seniors program that has allowed us to offer these workshops both last year and continuing into 2026. In 2026, we're continuing on the success we had in 2025 to bring you more of the popular Connected Canadians in-person technology workshops. Our first of these, Cyber Incident First Aid, was held in March, and we have 2 more on the way in June and October. Please stay tuned. Our Ottawa Branch team is also hard at work planning our second Golden Wellness Day, which is happening in October 2026. We're building on the great success we received from members last year, as well as this year's Golden Wellness Day, a bigger and better with more exhibitors, presentations, and on-site services. As you know, in-person events are quite costly, and we have to limit the numbers that we hold each year, focusing on making them as valuable to members as possible. Now, onto our Ottawa Branch exclusive member discounts. On screen are some of the discounts available to branch members. Our new preferred partner volunteer, Director Bobby Matheson, has been hard at work finding new discount opportunities with local and national businesses. Recently, we've partnered with Build Able, a local accessible renovations company, to offer a 5% discount off of total renovation costs for any home renovation project. Build Able also presented a webinar with us to give our members a better idea of the type of services they offer. We encourage you to view the recording of the webinar on our website. We also work closely with colleagues at the Ottawa Branch to bring members for both of our branches another new discount with Park and Fly. Members now have access to special discounted prices at airport parking at several airports across the country. It's very handy if you're a frequent flyer like me. All our member services and activities are designed to promote retention as well as recruitment. For a few years now, we've also taken the initiative of calling members who pay with credit card or by check and whose membership is about to expire. Marianne Tink, who you saw on our staff slide earlier, calls the members one by one to remind them that their membership is about to expire and encourages them to renew with our national office. We found that this is the most effective way of retaining members, as without these calls, members often had their membership expire without even being aware of it. In 2025, Marianne completed over 2,300 of these renewal calls to our members, which helped us greatly in retaining our members, as you'll see later on in the slide. Bravo, Marianne. If you pay by credit card and don't want the hassle of renewing, you can switch to direct deductions from your pension, and you'll save 25% in the first year. Once again, Ottawa Branch sponsored the award for the Outstanding Older Adult Volunteer in our community at the Voskers, an event organized by Volunteer Ottawa. We benefited from the publicity that came with this sponsorship, and we're also very proud to be seen celebrating volunteerism broadly within the community. So when Volunteer Ottawa asked us back, we agreed to be the 2025 sponsor as well. And again, I had the honor of presenting the award last year to Denise Amiot, who's very active on 11 nonprofit boards and advisory committees, and is also a member of NAFR. We're always trying to find ways to promote the association and encourage new members to join. And our volunteers proudly represented and promoted the branch and the association within the community. We had a strong presence at a range of events, including the Seniors Active Living Fair 2025, the City of Ottawa Older Adult Summit, the My Transition NCR Expo, several community fairs, the Adaptive Living Expo, and AIM Fitness's 12th anniversary celebration. We extended our contract for TV advertising on Rogers Cable Channel 22 during the Seniors Exercise Program Fit Over 50, presented by Meg Stickle-Croker. And you can help by inviting guests to our events. We hope that you are impressed and decide to join us. Seeing is believing. Vous pouvez nous aider par inviter les anciens collègues et vos amis à nos événements. The Ottawa Branch continues to grow year over year. The branch and the association as a whole encountered a net member loss during the pandemic years of 2020 and 2021. But we've had a swift bounce back in the following 3 years, We've regained all of our lost memberships and then some, and our growth is now starting to slow down. While some branches have faced challenges in recruiting new members, the Ottawa branch continues to be successful in attracting and retaining members and growing our branch. Our recruitment and retention efforts are therefore more important than ever. 70% of people who join say that they found out about the association through word of mouth. So everything you can do to talk up the association and the benefits of membership helps greatly. I'd like now to introduce you to Christian Stumpf, who is our director on our board, and he'll give you an update on the condo unit where our offices are located.
Well, thank you, Steve. Our real estate holding is held as a separate entity or corporation and is not directly linked to the Ottawa branch. We have had the first floor listed as a rental opportunity for the past year. If and when a tenant rents the first floor, the branch can save on rent and will use the second floor for office space and storage. Unfortunately, there have not been any serious concrete interests and rental opportunities found. Meanwhile, the board, with board support, office staff have been making more use of the space. Our full-time staff has worked on site at least one day a month. The French Conversation Group uses the facility at least every 2 weeks. Our plans are to have 2 in-person board meetings in the condo a year, and we are considering reopening the office for drop-ins in the near future. As always, of course, if discussions ever were to turn serious about potentially disposing or selling of the condo, this real estate piece, we will consult the broader membership before a final decision is taken. And with that, I will turn the presentation back to our president, Steve.
Thank you, Christian. The additional association funding we secured continues to make a big difference. With access to professional part-time help for bookkeeping, event planning, and customer services on contract, we've been able to consolidate our offerings to our members. This has permitted us to innovate and try new recruitment and retention strategies like the Thrive in Retirement event in 2024 and the Golden Wellness Day in 2025. It's also permitted us to offer national webinars that benefit members across the country and that other branches can use for recruitment as well. Collaboration with the Outaouais branch have helped us expand our offerings in the French language as well. I wanted to take the opportunity to speak to you about the governance review that the association is currently undergoing. All of you will have received the recent message from our National Board Chairperson, Giselle Tassé-Goodman, presenting a proposal for a new governance structure for the association, accompanied by a survey seeking your views on the proposed structure. You are also invited to a virtual town hall with the National Chair and others, providing more detail and context for the new structure. The governance review was launched after AMM in 2024, when several resolutions were adopted to study the structure of the association, including the number and size of branches and the role of districts. As such, the review considered both governance and association structure. The overall aim is streamlining the association to assure our ongoing sustainability, effectiveness, and financial viability. Over the past 2 years, surveys and consultations were conducted to support the development of a new approach which addresses these fundamental challenges. As indicated by the Chair, no final decisions have been made, and feedback from the current round of engagement will ensure that voices of our members and volunteers are heard and reflected in the new model. The Ottawa branch has been reviewing the proposed model and working with both National Association leadership and branches across the country to clarify details when questions arise. At the same time, we've consulted with longstanding and prominent members as part of providing positive and constructive input to the association chair and the national board on the proposed model. We recognize the need to reform our association to better position ourselves to meet the sustainability and financial viability challenges and ensure that we are effectively fulfilling our primary role of advocacy for our membership. In particular, we agree that we need to reduce the number of branches nationally and ensure that all local leaders are empowered and resourced to effectively engage with and support our members. However, we also want to ensure that we continue to be able to provide the kinds of services and engagement to which members of Ottawa Branch are accustomed. Ottawa presents a unique model for the future of local branches across the country, providing a wide array of relevant and valuable webinars for our members, a growing number of in-person events, more preferred partnerships, and increased advocacy with our local representatives. This has resulted in strong growth in our membership annually. This year, a net growth of 459 and an active and engaged membership. We want to make sure that under the new model, we'll be able to continue to be empowered and resourced to continue our high degree of engagement and support for our membership. We've recently met with our national chair, our CEO, and national staff to provide our unique vision of an empowered and effective and properly resourced branch, and are working with others to ensure that the branch continues to provide a nexus between the grassroots of the association and national leadership. There will be further discussions at the upcoming AMM in June, and we're confident that we will arrive at a model that will address our goals. Carol Skillen, our treasurer, will now walk us through the financing in the treasurer's report. But before we do, are there any questions about the president's report? Helen, can you check the Q&A, please?
Yes, there is a question. If the Ottawa branch sells the condo, who gets the money, the Ottawa branch or national office?
Okay, I can take that, Christian. I've had conversations with our national CEO and with members of the National Board of Directors. The property was purchased by the Ottawa branch prior to the reorganization in 2014, when the Not-for-Profit Corporations Act was implemented. And at that time, a separate corporation was set up to manage and hold the property. The Ottawa branch, as a charter branch of NAFR, is an agent of the National Board of Directors, and as such, can't hold property. So the property itself is held by a separate corporation that was set up for the benefit of Ottawa branch members. If the property is sold, and it's we're far from making any kind of decision on that, or if we generate any revenue from rental of that property, the corporation holds the assets, and the assets in our terms of incorporation are to be used for the benefit of Ottawa branch members. So if there's a sale, the corporation will continue to hold those assets and use them for the benefit of Ottawa branch activities and the members of the Ottawa branch. Christian, do you have anything to add?
Steve, I totally concur with what you stated. The framework of the corporation holds the assets, and the benefits will be used to the betterment of the Ottawa branch membership. is inculcated in the charter for the condo branch.
Great.
There are no other questions.
Okay, thanks, Hélène. All right, so thank you. And now I'll turn the presentation over to our treasurer, Carol Skillen.
Okay, hello everybody. And I managed to turn on my microphone before starting to talk this time. Usually I forget to do that. So good morning, and yeah, I am the treasurer, and so everything I talk about is history. So my report speaks mainly to the previous fiscal year, which is the calendar year 2025. Our auditors, the Frouin Group, they completed the audit, which resulted in an unqualified opinion, which means yes, all is good. And as you can see on the slide, that there are no issues, at least, with the finances of the branch. The complete audit report is available on NAFR Ottawa Branch website. And I believe Hélène mentioned that in the email that came out with the invite to the meeting, there was a link to all the documents. And it is one of the documents there. But if you missed on that one, then there will be an email coming out after the AGM, and it will also have the link as well. So I am going to focus on basically not the whole of the audited report, but just the income statement. Antoine, if you could flip the page. Thank you. Oops, I'm going the wrong way in my own thing. So as a nonprofit, our goal is to provide services to our members through advocacy, events, etc., while remaining viable, but not earning a huge profit, hence nonprofit. Having a small net income at the end of the year, though, does help us maintaining our viability. So in 2025, as you can see, we ended up with a small net income. And getting there, if you look up at the revenue side, you'll see grants and sponsorships and branch support. So the grants, this is what Steve was talking about, the money that we got from the New Horizons Seniors Program to provide the digital literacy workshops that Connected Canadians provides. Now, they do provide this free of charge, but we still have to rent the space and all that goes with it. And also the branch support, the is money from National that pays for our contractors that you saw on the slide there. So there's Stephanie, Marcia, and Ivan. So it goes to pay for that as well. Excuse me. So on the expenses side, looking at that, you can see the biggest increases. If the numbers are pretty tiny, I know, but if you get really close to the screen, you'll be able to see them. You'll notice that annual general meetings, so that number went up a fair bit, and that's because we sent 2 board members to the Ottawa District meetings and 2 directors to the National AMM, and these are not funded by National. This comes out of our own budget, so it kind of increased that a little bit. Equipment and service rentals was up. That was due to increase in costs for the office equipment. And when Rebecca started, she went through and she was looking at everything that we had there, and we have come to the conclusion not everything is required. So we've canceled some of the contracts, and this should be reflected in the 2026 statements. The professional services, again, that expense is partially funded by the branch support, but as you can see, there's a little bit more that we have to fund through our budget. So 98,000 went out from professional as opposed to 82,800 that came in from National. Marketing and recruitment is also up a wee bit, and that is, as Steve mentioned, the sponsorship that we have with AIM Fitness and the cross promotion with the advertising that with the program that they have on Rogers Channel 22, I think it is. And also we had some ads in the Ottawa Citizen last fall, which was actually quite expensive. So that added to our marketing and recruitment expense. Now, you'll notice that there's other fluctuations in there. What we're also doing is we're trying to realign our chart of accounts. So basically that tells us where we're putting money into what expense category. And we're doing this to make the statements more reflective of exactly where the money is being spent. So you can see that the expenses and the net income are relatively similar from year to year. So we're still continuing on track with all of that. Now, what is next? I believe. Oh, yes, motion to accept. So this is a motion. Basically, the audited statements were presented to the board and accepted by the board, but we have to present them to the members of the organization of the branch. So in this case, I'm making the motion, and it is being seconded by Batul Siddiqui. And the motion is to attest that the 2025 audited financial statements for the Ottawa branch, which show an excess revenue of 2931, have been presented to the members. So before we go on with the motion, are there any questions on the statements? Is there anything there, Helen? Nope, nada. Good. I like it when there's no questions and we're behind time. So then we'll call the vote. Now, also, please remember that only Ottawa branch members are eligible to vote. So you're basically voting that, yep, you saw them. And again, you can get the full audited statements on the website with the link that you will get in an email following the AGM. I'm assuming that it automatically tells us, oh, there we are. Oh, look at that. Everybody goes yes. Excellent. So we'll just call that motion carried and we'll move along, trying to save some time. Okay, reserves. So this slide and the next one are basically for information purposes. Reserves are part of the equity section. I'm sorry, just a second. I have to cough. Excuse me, sorry about that. So reserves show up in the equity section. So if you're looking at a balance sheet, it's in the bottom right-hand side. And they are basically they're set up and to hold money for a particular purpose. And in 2019, members voted to establish two reserve funds, and the Human Resources Liability and the Facility Improvement Reserve Funds. And what you see here are the values at the end of 2025. So the HR Reserve Fund was initially set up at $50,000, and the excess revenues over the past few years have been put into it, so it has grown a little bit each year. The Facility Improvement Fund was initially set at $30,000. You can see the balance is now $9,000, and that's because the difference has been used to perform leasehold improvements on the condo space that we rent from the corporation. Excuse me, and the unrestricted at the end of 2025, which means that this is just the net income that we can use for any sort of activity, kind of not a net income, sorry, net equity that we can use for any sort of activity, sits at around 75,000. Excuse me. Ideally, in the reserve funds that we have, we would like to have at least 1 year's worth of operating expenses in the bank, because this is kind of a recommended risk management best practice. However, as you can see, we don't have a lot of income at the end of the day because we are a nonprofit and we operate in a very tight budget. So there's not a lot to put into the reserve funds at the end of each year. Excuse me. The next one is our budget and forecast for 26, 27. So this was presented to the board and voted on at the board level. So the budget, the increases in fees for 2025, 3.7. So we applied a similar percentage to 26 and 27 to get an idea of what the income will be from the membership dues. Interest going down, interest rates going down. And then the grants from the government. These are the New Horizons grants, and also Rebecca was successful in getting a grant. I'm sorry, I forget from whom, but it's for a student intern. I forget which branch of the government, but it's for a student intern this summer. And then the branch support reserve funding that pays for our professional services. We continue to get this year, but next year is the last of the funding that we will receive. So we'll be looking to see how we can support having our support staff. And I think that's about it. now I just will ask if there are any questions on the financial statements as such. Is there anything there, Helen?
No,
Financial?
I don't
No.
have any questions.
Oh, good. Excellent. Excellent.
Not on the budget. It's not on the budget. It's other items.
Oh, it's on something else. Good. I like it when questions aren't for me. All right. So, having gone through very quickly, and again, in essence of trying to save some time, the financial statements, the reserve funds, and our budget and forecast up to 2027, like to look at, we have to appoint our auditor, and it is up to you guys to help us do that. So we've been with the Fruin Group since 2021. And we worked well with them. And at a recent board meeting, we've recommended that we continue to work with them so that they can continue on as our auditors. And as such, I will now, next slide, please, present the motion for your consideration. So I'm making this motion, seconded by Kristen Stumpf, to appoint Fruin Group as auditor for Ottawa Branch for 2026. So if there are no questions, which I think we've established, we'll now proceed with the vote. Again, please remember, only Ottawa Branch members are eligible to vote when you see the little pop-up. And the results will pop up eventually, I'm sure. Yay. Oh, one person said no. Okay. Curious as to why, but anyway. Okay, so the motion is carried, and that will be the end of me. So I will now turn this over to Director David Bolger, who will take us through the process of approving directors. Thank you.
Thank you, Carol. Bonjour tout le monde. Good morning, everyone. I'm David Bolger. I'm one of the directors and vice president of the Ottawa Branch. And it's my privilege to present the new board of directors, or slate of board of directors. First of all, we want to give our heartfelt thanks to the directors on your screen who have left our board during the past year. We thank Sharon and Krista sincerely for their enthusiasm and support, for their generosity with their spirit and their time, and for their dedication to helping Ottawa Branch thrive and grow. Of note, Sharon has moved to the national board and is now serving as district director for the Ottawa district. Now, I'd like to go over the process we used to fill two vacancies on our board. The two directors who stepped down needed to be replaced. So we referred to the candidates that had presented themselves as possible candidates in early 2025. The two candidates were selected, were appointed by the board, and these directors are now included in the 2026 slate for your approval, along with 5 returning directors. There are short biographies for each candidate on our website. Vous pouvez consulter les qualifications de chaque candidat sur notre site web. Permettons-nous de vous présenter les 7 excellents candidats à notre conseil d'administration cette année. Here we have Ellen Burak, who retired from the public service in April 2021 after more than 31 years of service. And we also have as a new director, Batul Siddiqui, who enjoyed a 32-year career with the Federal Public Service. And now I'm going to go through the list of the returning directors, and please feel free to consult their biographies on our website. We have Blair Armitage, myself, Hélène Buteau, Carol Skillen, and Sheila Tuddenham. So now there's a motion for approval of the slate of directors for the period of 2026 to 2028. The Ottawa Branch has approved a slate of 7 directors for 2026, 2028 for your approval. All of these directors are proposed for 2-year terms. Now, before we call for a vote, are there any questions? Y a-t-il des questions avant de voter?
I don't see any questions.
Hélène? In that case, since there are no questions regarding this slate, we'll now put it to a vote. The motion is made by Steve Chapman and seconded by Christian Stumpf. You will see the voting box on your screen asking you to approve the proposed slate by voting yes or no. A reminder that only Ottawa Branch members are entitled to vote. Thank you. The motion is carried. So that being said, thank you for your participation, and I will turn things back to Steve. Oh, I beg your pardon. I would also like to recognize the directors who are also currently serving. As I said, you can find their biographies on our webpage.
All right, so now we'll move over to volunteer recognition. Every year we recognize the contribution of our volunteers, and we're quite fortunate as a branch to have a large array of talented and dedicated members who are ready to participate in events at the drop of a hat and assist us with the work of engagement and representation in our community. It's my pleasure to announce that Martha Can is the recipient of the Ottawa Branch Stephen Troy Volunteer of the Year Award for 2026. Martha has been a member of the branch since 2009 and has been generously volunteering her time and skills with us since 2014. That's over 12 years. Martha is currently our in memoriam coordinator who handles the important task of reaching out to the families of members who pass away, offering condolences on behalf of the branch, and offering the opportunity to honor the departed members in the Ottawa Branch in memoriam column published in Sage magazine. When our previous in memoriam coordinator, Deanne Law, expressed her desire to step away from the role after many years, Martha didn't hesitate to let us know that she would be happy to step in. In fact, we're hard-pressed to find a single time when Martha has answered no to a call for volunteers with us. In 2018, Martha developed a sound business case to fund the October 2018 General Members Meeting on financial literacy. She then helped craft the nomination that won the Ottawa Branch the 2019 National Membership and Recruitment Award based upon the success of that event. She's also been supporting the branch recruitment efforts and the DND Second Career Assistance Network efforts for years now, helping to deliver dozens of presentations to prospective members retiring from the military. More recently, she also represented the branch at several seniors fairs and will be doing so again this weekend at Adapt Expo. Thank you, Martha, for all you've done for the branch over the years and for all you're continuing to do now and hopefully in the years to come. Congratulations on winning this award, and you've definitely earned it. And I think Martha is standing by to join us.
Well, this is an astonishing surprise. Thank you very much. I never expected something like this for the very modest efforts that I have expended on behalf of the association. My goodness. I very much enjoyed all my interactions with the association. It has given me the opportunity to participate in purposeful activities, and I hope to continue that in the future.
Thank you, Marta, and thank you for your ongoing support. And we encourage people who are interested in getting involved and engaged with the work of the Ottawa branch to be in touch with our team and to undertake the rewarding contribution that people like Marta are consistently bringing to our work. All right.
Thank you.
Thank you, Marta.
That's amazing.
All right. So I'd like to introduce our guest speaker, our National Association Chair, Giselle Tassé-Goodman, who we invited to speak at our AGM today. Unfortunately, Giselle is unable to join us in person. She is currently at the Quebec district meetings, engaging with presidents from across the province of Quebec in our consultation on the governance review. But she has given us a video statement that she would like to share with us. Giselle Tassé-Goodman brings decades of experience bridging public policy, community needs, and the well-being of older Canadians. She's held leadership roles at Employment and Social Development Canada and served as president of FADOC, an organization championing seniors' rights in Quebec. In that role, she led a major advocacy initiatives, testified before parliamentary committees, and contributed to the UN Committee on Aging. With extensive board experience and a strong commitment to inclusion and sound governance, Giselle was appointed to the National Board of Directors and elected board chair in 2025. I've had the opportunity of working closely with Giselle over the last year, and I'm very grateful for her enthusiasm and encouragement for the suggestions and ideas that our branch has brought forward this year to help the association overall. And so I'd like to present the video statement from our association chair.
Hello, my name is Giselle Tassé-Goodman, your National Board Chair. I was elected to this role in November of last year, and I'm honored to serve our members in this capacity. Some of you I have already met, and I look forward to meeting more of you in person at our upcoming spring district meetings, as well as our annual meeting of members. Let me take this opportunity to share a little bit about myself. I have had a long career in the public service, working on Parliament Hill for 9 different ministers. Prior to my current role, I spent 6 years as the chair of the board of Réseau FADOC, Canada's largest seniors association, with more than 600,000 members across the province of Quebec. I have appeared in the Quebec National Assembly as well as the House of Commons to secure better home care for older adults. I've also taken part in numerous parliamentary commissions and pre-budget submissions federally and provincially. I am proud of the significant governance experience that I have brought to NAFR, and I am committed to working with you, our volunteers, and our members as we discuss how to evolve and adapt our structure for the future. I am deeply committed to advocacy and helping to protect and advance the income security and health needs of our members. With our new strategic plan, we have an opportunity to focus on 3 key areas: to better influence decision makers on the things that matter most to federal retirees, to increase our association's visibility, and to enhance the association's sustainability. These are ambitious challenges, and I look forward to working with you, our volunteers and staff, to keep our association strong and united. Together, we'll make sure our collective voice is not only heard, but respected by government across the country. This is the time of year when your annual general meeting takes place. And I want to begin by thanking you. Thank you for your commitment and your availability. Your participation brings our association to life and gives it its strength. Last year was marked by a change in leadership, and I would like to acknowledge the work of those who ensured the transition with seriousness and dedication. You allowed our organization to continue moving forward with stability and confidence. You are now holding your annual general meeting. It is an important moment to take stock, discuss together, and prepare what comes next. For my part, I will be visiting the districts. I want to listen to you, better understand your realities, and speak with you directly. Contact with members is essential, and I hope that we will build our next steps together. I am optimistic about the association's strength and its future. We are entering a period of renewal. The important governance review work we are doing now focused on reinforcing accountability, leadership, and long-term sustainability will enable a more resilient and impactful organization for years to come. The future lies ahead of us, and it belongs to us. We have everything we need to continue to advocate for our members and to strengthen our presence across the country. Together, let us make this new chapter a time when every member counts, every voice is heard, and where our collective commitment shapes the future we want. See you soon.
Daughter's wedding is
All right, thank you very much. And I just wanted to share that we had a very constructive and positive meeting with Giselle, as well as with our CEO, Anthony Pizzino, and members of staff, including Hélène Nadeau, who is a former Ottawa board member and is now the vice national chair of the National Board of Directors. I found that the conversation was extremely constructive and open, and there was good dialogue and a real openness to hearing what Ottawa had to say on issues of the future sustainability and governance of the association. So I'm really glad that Giselle has joined us and brought her experience leading FADOC, the largest seniors organization in Canada, to our own association. So I think we're very lucky to have her on board. At this point, I would like to open the floor to any questions that anybody may have. There are a number of questions in the Q&A box. If anything occurs to you, please click on the Q&A box, enter your question, and Hélène will read it out, and we'll do our best to answer. But I know that there are a lot of pressing concerns that people have, and this is a great opportunity for me to hear what those issues were. So, Hélène, do you have any questions? What's the first one?
Yes. First of all, I would like to start off by reminding people that there is a NAFR Day at the ballpark with the Ottawa Titans on June 10th at the Ottawa Baseball Stadium. So watch your mailbox for more information and a special discount code. I'll next go into the other questions. Okay. This is a question about, because of the importance of the information shared at the AGM, like the Ottawa Branch AGM, why is there such a low attendance? 130 members registered is a very small percentage or representation of our large Ottawa Branch membership. Are we giving consideration into how we can get more members engaged in these valuable sessions?
Thanks for the question, Ray. I think it's a pointed one. We had 130 members register. I see on the screen at one point we had 96 who had joined the meeting, and about 67 actually voting on the motions. So out of a total membership of 36,000, that's a very small proportion. We do get good turnout at our webinars, and I can only think that the webinar topics are more interesting for our membership than joining an AGM and voting on budget resolutions. We do our best to publicize and make this available, and doing it in a online virtual manner is intended to allow people who don't have mobility, who are unable to come to events in person, who are in Nunavut or in the international area that we also represent, to join in. But at the end of the day, engagement is a challenge across our association, and it's one of the reasons that we're undergoing the governance review. If you go into the documents for the AGM last year, there is a report from an organization consultant called Watson, and they did some extensive opinion surveys through our membership over the past 2 years. And what they found was that, there's a high level of satisfaction among the membership. Like 98% of members are happy with the association. People are joining the association, like 86% of people, because of the travel insurance, but then they stay because of advocacy. But when it gets to actually participating in branch events and volunteering, those proportions are much lower. I think in Ottawa, we get good uptake. And as I mentioned earlier, we've done 44 webinars this year. One of our webinars had 486 people phoning in and participating. That was the one presented by Connected Canadians on preparing for your digital end of life. So, clearly, there's interest and engagement, just not in governance. They're not people, I'm grateful to the people who came today, and I think your presence is important. And I'm glad that you made an effort to participate and be present to receive the information that we're passing along. All I can say is, if you know people who are members of Ottawa Branch, next year, encourage them to come and participate and join in the conversation. We'll also be sending the link for the video of this out to our membership, so the people who enrolled but were unable to attend for one reason or other are able to see what was discussed and educate themselves on what the branch is doing. On the other hand, I think it is an indication that people are fairly comfortable with the work that we're doing, and that we are engaging actively with our membership. I think that would be my address to that. I'm not completely ecstatic that we had 96 members join, but I'm glad you were here today and that you're engaged in the conversation. So thanks.
Okay, next question. Federal employees are going back to the office 4 days a week as of July 1st. When will the branch employees return to the office more than once a month?
So great question. I'd say, first of all, we're not the federal government anymore, and imposing a back to work mandate isn't something that I, as the president, am comfortable doing. Operations are the responsibility of our executive manager, Rebecca, and I leave the management of the office staff in her hands. What I would say is that we want to make active use of our offices as much as possible, and we're finding ways of doing that by having activities in the office, such as our French language conversation sessions, and we use the office to prepare and stage for events, gather together all of the merch and our documentation before we go to an outreach event. And more, Rebecca and the team are in the office. I would like to see an opportunity once or twice a month where we advertise out to the membership that the staff are going to be present and invite people to drop by for a cup of coffee and to interact directly with our team members. But at the end of the day, if there isn't a need for people to be physically in the office, I don't see that there's a huge need for us to impose that as a requirement. All right, thanks.
Okay, the next question is, can we aim to allocate some resources in coming years to getting bigger government grants for senior-related activities?
All right, so I'll talk a little bit about our funding model. As an association, we receive from the national office 20% of the member dues that our branch is responsible for. So I think we bring in something like between 1.5 to $2 million. And our budget last year was $400,000. I mentioned that to other branch presidents, and their eyes get really big, and they look a little shocked because they're working with $30,000. In addition to that, that's our base funding. We're one of the only branches that actively seeks funding to support our engagement activities from other sources. So the initiative with Connected Canadians to provide digital literacy workshops is a new model that we're trying. We were successful in getting $25,000, which allowed us to present 6 workshops in person for people so that we could address an actual need in the community, digital literacy and mentorship for people who have issues with their technology. There's a lot of work that goes into applying for grants. The number of grants that are available are fairly limited. And I think a $25,000 grant is a pretty significant amount of money. So, given the resources that we have, the amount of effort that goes into delivering one of these events, and the limited source of grant money, I think we're doing pretty well. That said, we can always reach out and hit more people with webinars than we can with in-person events. And I'll just say, the same organization, Connected Canadians, our workshops have a cap of about 70 people, but online, Connected Canadians delivered the Preparing for Your Digital End of Life, and we had almost 500 people for a fraction of the cost. We don't have to have a venue, we don't have to have catering, we don't have to mobilize our staff and have them on site, and we can reach so many more people. So a mix of those two avenues is important. As I said in the presentation, we're growing the number of in-person events because we know people want to get together, but we also want to make it value-added, important, and interesting for people to go there. And I'll also say, people will sign up for an event and then on the day of decide not to attend. But the money that we spend when we're doing an in-person event is already out the door. So if I have a 70% uptake on an event between the number of people who register and then the number who actually show, then that return on investment is diminished by that. So the outcome basically, we're going to continue the webinars because they're popular, and we reached almost 5,000 people through our webinar offerings last year. And we're going to find cost-effective ways of delivering in-person events, like dropping into the office for a cup of coffee once a month. All right, thank you.
Okay, next question. Will the goal of the National Association to reduce the number of branches call for the possible amalgamation of the Ottawa and the Outaouais branches?
All right, okay, interesting question. Back in the day, the Ottawa and Outaouais branch were one branch. That was the National Capital Region branch. And Outaouais has something like 8,000 members. We're 36,000 members. You're talking like over 40,000 members in a single branch. There was a decision that was made back in the day to separate those two branches into separate entities. Frankly, I think it was a good decision at the time. I think that currently we work very closely together with Outaouais Branch, but maintaining a separation is good for the association so that you don't have a single branch that dominates all of the governance of the association and has an undue and overly influential control over outcomes. And the Outaouais branch is also very focused with the Quebec district and makes a positive contribution in the province of Quebec. So I think we've got a good balance now. And the question actually came up on Friday last week when we were talking with the national chair, and I said, I think we're good the way we are. It's we've got a really strong collaborative relationship with Outaouais, but we also recognize that there are organizational and cultural differences that allow us to operate independently. All right, thank you.
Next question is one of the issues that has been discussed with MPs the inequity of the federal retirees dental plan compared with the employee dental plan?
All right, so this comes up a lot. I was at the Vancouver branch AGM last month, and questions around the dental plan and the public service healthcare plan dominated the question and answer session. I'll focus first of all on the dental plan. I think it's important. I hear about this, and I experience this myself. The question is, why has the cap on services since 2003, I think, when the dental plan was introduced, why has it not increased? Why has it not kept up with inflation? And now with the implementation of a new national dental plan, which is not a subscriber pay plan, it's free to people who qualify. And the services are not that much different from the plan that we're paying for. I think that changes the discussion. I've raised this with the CEO. I've raised this with our past president. I raised it with our national chair. And there's two responses that I give to that. First of all, we engage regularly with Treasury Board. And the answer the Treasury Board gives is that, one, it's not a negotiated plan. It is a plan that the government has chosen to give us. And so as a result, there's no forum for the negotiation and seeking improvement of benefits. Second, the plan was intended to provide maintenance for people in retirement, not as a plan to provide enhanced care and surgical benefits for people who encounter those. And I guess the third point that they say is most employers don't provide a dental plan for retirees, so you're lucky to have it. I think things change, though, when the government is implementing a national dental plan that's free for people who don't otherwise have a plan. And we have to benchmark ourselves against what is it that people are getting who aren't having to pay for that plan, against what are we getting for a plan that we're subscribing to and we have to pay. And I think if we're paying for it, we should see enhanced services. So we're spending a lot of time on internal governance review. We're spending a lot of time on answering questions to 77 branch presidents. We should be focusing on advocacy, and this is one area where we have a lot of room for growth in our advocacy efforts. So I agree with you. Dental plan, not good enough. We need to enhance that. In terms of the public service healthcare plan, we have the same plan as the rest of the public service. And we're one voice at a board that's represented by the unions and bargaining agents, and we have a privileged platform there. We're the only non-public sector union that's at that table. CARP isn't there, FADOC isn't there, but we are there. At the end of the day, though, the selection of Canada Life as a service provider is subject to government contracting guidelines, and our ability to influence outcomes on that negotiation is the same as the public sector unions. So we're there, we're at the board, actively participating in those discussions and advocating on behalf of retirees. But at the end of the day, we are one of many voices at that table. So that outcome, the choice of Canada Life and the transition to that service provider are an issue that is with the federal government as the owner of the plan. All right.
Okay. The next one is a comment about triste que Gisèle a donné un message seulement en anglais. Just to answer that, yes, the video was in English, but we have both languages. And what will happen is that we can have the link to both versions will be included in the post-AGM documents. So that's a way that we can provide the French. Aussi, j'aimerais dire que nous allons travailler avec les organisations, les organismes francophones de la région d'Ottawa pour Connected Canadians. Because what happens is we often have our sessions in English, and they also work with the Francophone organizations. And I've been talking with the people responsible at Connected Canadians, and we're going to reach out to the other organizations to be able to invite our members to their French sessions and provide that to our members. So that's one thing that we're doing on the Francophone, increasing the possibilities of activities that we get. The next question is more of a statement, and it says, Stephen, you and other directors presented an impressive report of activities in support of our members. This person also appreciated that you are sharing products with branches across the country. And then it goes on to say, what does Gisèle, the new chair, think of the Ottawa branch? And is she prepared to support the continued existence of the branch, its board, and its activities?
All right. So thank you. And yeah, we work really hard to provide a range of activities. Some branches can sustain, 1 or 2 meetings a year. We have had, previous year, we had 56 webinars. This year, 44 webinars, increasing number of in-person events, expanding our number of preferred partnerships. And, I think we're gaining momentum. So the question is, what does the new board chair think of the Ottawa branch? And is there an interest in sustaining our activities? And I'm going to be really frank. What we were told is that the model going forward is Ottawa. They're really impressed with the successes that we've been able to achieve, that we're growing our association, we're attracting volunteers, we have no difficulty attracting people into leadership roles, that we're financially viable, and that our finances are clear and stand up to rigor, and that we're meeting all of our engagement requirements in terms of advocacy and getting our message across to politicians. So that's the success. I think we are the gold standard, and we were assured. My big question was, under the new governance model, will we be able to continue to sustain the services, the engagement, and the activities that we've become accustomed to? Will we be able to identify that there's a need for IT literacy, find funding, partner with an outside agency that can deliver that, do the logistics to find a venue, advertise it, and mobilize people to come out? And they said, yes, that is our intention. We want that for Ottawa, and we want it for all of the other branches as well. And currently, they're unable to do that. We have branches that don't have an executive, can't find people to stand on their board of directors. The Ontario Regional District Director, is notional president for 7 branches across Ontario. So if you can't recruit and grow your organization, if you can't find volunteers to participate in activities, and if you can't find people to take on leadership roles, how can you call yourself a branch? So that's the fundamental question, and I think that, as I said earlier, Ottawa is the gold standard for branches going forward, and the intention is to empower us and extend that service to the remaining branches that exist across the network as we go through the governance review.
Okay. We have a comment here, and it's, if you want more participation, you need to ask more open-ended questions or over choices we can select. Otherwise, this is just a consensus vote. I'm not sure, if you want to answer how to answer that.
I get the comment. We're working with the terms and conditions of our bylaws, and this is the way the Ottawa branch has functioned prior to my arrival as president. I think that we have a very smooth approach, and judging from the votes to the motions, 100% support for the motions that are brought forward. What I would say is that I go to events. I try to go to the representational events where we have a kiosk. In future, when we have drop-ins, I want to be in the office. I go to the Connected Canadian workshops and do the introduction. And I talk to people and engage with our membership. So, I try to make myself available and have those conversations with people casually. If you have concerns, questions, or anything of that nature, then send us an email, and we'll be happy to get back to you and engage on whatever your concerns are. But yeah, you're right. Quite frankly, an AGM is not the most scintillating conversation that you can have. And I think the fact that we're getting people coming out for the value add activities like our webinars is heartening and encouraging for us. But point heard. We're
Next
getting
comment.
to time, Helen. How many more questions?
Yeah, I know. Okay, it's the time. So what do you want me to continue, or do we end it?
I'm just looking at the final questions here. New member limited
I know
knowledge is now for looked at.
Thank you. And people are appreciating the work that's being done by the branch.
Yeah.
And somebody has talked about partnering with organizations like Vengo or Percopolis to broaden available
to our members through our relationship with Bel Air Direct. And we can provide more information about that. We found, though, that as well, having one-on-one membership, preferred partnerships that we can highlight, they may be available through Percopolis, but you've got to dig through their website to find the one that's relevant for you. But for example, Park and Go, putting that on our masthead and saying that this is a benefit that is available to our members is terrific from an outreach and marketing perspective. So some of that is already done at the national level, and we're continuing to pluck away at our local service providers as well to provide enhanced preferred partnership and discounts.
Okay. There's another comment that I'd like to address. It's based on the previous comment about, does communication with francophones occupy a backseat to communication with anglophones? And I would say the answer is no. What happens is that we often set up activities, and when we try to set up activities in English and then set them up in French, we often have to cancel the activity because hardly anybody registers for it. And that is the reason why we were we reached out to the Francophone organizations in the Outaouais, and that happened at the same time when a representative from one of the organizations reached out to the national and asked if there could be a collaboration with the National Association of Federal Retirees. So both he and I worked together to communicate with the organizations. And what we've done is we have made a page on our website which links our members to the Francophone organization so that we can have access to their activities. Our members can have access to their activities, and they are aware of our organization. And so we often are asked to go to open houses, events where we have kiosks and we're able to promote our branch. And we also work with the Outaouais branch to do Francophone activities. And what has happened is that we have increased their participation in doing workshops in French for some organizations. For example, the Council on Aging, they will have an event where they may have about 60 people in English and maybe have 10, 12, or even have to cancel their events. So it's a problem for bilingual organizations, and we're trying to work together to be able to increase the opportunities of activities, programming for our Francophone members.
Yeah, thanks for that, Helen. I'm very much aware that our membership is bilingual, and we try to provide bilingual services. Durant le parole, j'ai essayé de parler dans les deux langues et offre aussi une capacité pour traduction. But I think there are areas where we can partner more effectively with Francophone organizations, bring our membership to events that are relevant for our membership, but are already pre-existing. So we're going to try and continue to do that. And very happy as well to promote bilingualism by having the French language exchanges in our offices. So,
yeah.
All right. I think one more question.
Okay. One question is, what measures is the branch taking to attract federal employees who will take the early retirement incentive?
So this is an issue that I've raised with national office and flagged that, there are going to be a significant number of people who are leaving the public service, and we need to get out ahead of that in a consolidated way. For ourselves, Ottawa Branch, we are doing outreach in the community and increasing the number of activities that we are participating in. I am looking for opportunities as well where we can work with the unions to catch people as they're leaving. One of my directors has brought to my attention that my old department, Global Affairs, is having an event for the people who are taking ERI, and there will be like an opportunity for everybody in the same room at the same time to engage with them, talk about the benefits of joining the association and how we can go forward and provide them with support in retirement. So we're trying that, but this is a bigger initiative than Ottawa Branch can handle on our own, but very much cognizant of it. So I think that's as much as we can go with the time that we have. I notice that we've already run 9 minutes over. So thanks for all of your questions.
Okay.
All right. So again, we send a huge thanks to our volunteers and branch teams, and to our special advisor and past president, Robert Giroux, who acts as a non-voting member of our board of directors. Un gros merci à nos bénévoles et notre équipe. We'd also like to thank Sharon Squire and Dan Napier, district directors for Ottawa, Nunavut, and International, Hélène Nadeau, the National Association Vice Chair, Giselle Tassé-Goodman, National Association Chair, Anthony Pizzino, the National CEO, and all the staff of the National Office for their assistance and support. Nous apprécions les soutiens de nos directeurs de district et de l'Association nationale. Please watch for our electronic newsletters and for more webinars and in-person events. And as Helene mentioned, the 10th of June, Ottawa Titans baseball game. There'll be information coming out about that. Please come out and join us and support our local baseball team. Gardez un œil sur les bulletins électroniques. We hope that you have a safe, healthy, and happy summer ahead. Restez en sécurité, en bonne santé cet été. Et merci.